Welcome to Sarasota History Alive. I'm Lee Gaines, your host, and today we're visiting the Crocker Memorial Church. The history of the church begins with Civil War veteran Peter Crocker, who hailed from Wheeler, New York. He enlisted at 18 years old as a private in the Volunteer Union Army. He was in the Battle of Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, and Gettysburg. His final discharge was at Key West in 1867, and he received a sum total payment of $262.60 for his service to the Union. That was the same year he fell in love with Sophia and married her. He was appointed the island's lighthouse keeper, and then several years later they migrated to Sarasota. They purchased 20 acres of land for $1.25 an acre, lived in a thatched hut for a while, then built their home just southwest of Bay Road in US 41, where an auto dealership stands today. There they raised 6 children, but only one, Fanny, lived to adulthood. Peter was permanently disabled from typhoid fever during the war, but nevertheless, he walked to the nearest general store in Manatee County to get supplies, which back then was a 2-day trip. Additionally, he was a very civic-minded fellow who served on many boards and committees, and was a trustee for the Philippi School, helped lay out the roads in the Bee Ridge Osprey Road area, was postmaster for a post office in his home, and later ran his own store. Busy guy. However, one thing dear to him was having a church. He worked to get a chapel built and someone to hold services in it, at what is now the northeast corner of Bee Ridge Road and US 41. The church was originally called the St. John's Chapel Church, but everyone knew it as Crocker's Church, and behind it, one of Sarasota's earliest cemeteries was founded, and still remains there today. After Crocker's death in 1911, the church gradually lost its congregation. In 1926, the Baptist Reverend W.C. Sparkman encouraged the Bay Haven Baptist congregation in North Sarasota to move the church to Old Bradenton Road, where they had acquired land. Back then, there was no one capable of moving the entire structure, so it was dismantled and moved piece by piece. Later, remodeling occurred and a wide cement porch with steps was constructed. Double doors replaced the single door. Columns were added to support the roof. All was topped with a 4-sided steeple with a louvered belfry and spire. A sunburst pattern, which was made of radiating planks, filled the classic style pediment. In 1995, after the Bay Haven Baptist Church decided to build a larger church, Veronica Morgan petitioned the Historic Preservation Board of Sarasota to have the 1903 church recognized as a historic structure and be moved to Florida Avenue, just across from the Rosemary Cemetery in the downtown area. Development pressure knocking at the door, the Crocker Church was destined to be moved yet one more time or meet its demise. The church, along with the Bidwell Wood House next door, was donated to the Historical Society, where they pledged to the city to restore the buildings and open them as a resource to learn about Sarasota's history. So, once again, the buildings were moved to Pioneer Park in October of 2006 by the Historical Society. It was no easy task having to do all this in the wee hours of the morning and with a tight deadline. However, success prevailed at the last minute. After years of restoration on both buildings, the Historical Society of Sarasota County finally has a home for these 2 wonderful structures that tell a magnificent tale of our heritage. Stop by soon at 1260 12th Street and experience Sarasota history firsthand. And don't forget to join us every week as we continue to explore our past and keep Sarasota history alive.